What's good, YouTube? The moment we've been waiting for. NBA 2K26 gameplay is here. Shout out to Joe Knows. I never heard about this guy, but apparently he's a big time YouTuber, content creator for 2K. NBA 2K26 complete gameplay breakdown. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be super honest about this game. I know a lot of people say the same thing. I haven't watched any of this gameplay. I haven't watched any of this gameplay. I haven't watched anything that anybody has posted. Haven't watched the video. We're going to be really honest about this. Let's get it. 15 minutes. Let's break it down. Let's check it out. Go ahead and, hey, if you're new, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm still thinking if I should buy it. So I can do we're going to have some fun this year, hopefully. I bought it last year, but some things happened around the house. Couldn't do it. But look. New year, let's get it on. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it's worth it. Let's check out the gameplay, man.
Dual gameplay breakdown video. We're going to be going over everything gameplay related inside this video when it comes to NBA 2K26. We'll be talking about the no RNG pure green window shooting from both 3-point and mid-range. We're going to be talking about the new custom layups and how consistent we think those are going to be. The new dunk meter. We're able to see the green window again, but is it any good? We're going to be talking about dribbling. Can tall build speed boost again? Of course, we've got to cover on-ball defense for all you locks out there. Paint defense, rebounding. We got everything you need when it comes to 2K26 gameplay. I'm also going to be posting some unedited.
Show this Steph Curry again.
Defense for all you locks out there. Paint defense, rebounding. We got everything you need when it comes to 2K26 gameplay. I'm also going to be posting some unedited, raw, full game online user versus user gameplay here shortly, so stay on the lookout for that. But take a second, drop a like on the video for me. Let's try to get this video to 20,000 likes, and let's get into this NBA 2K26 gameplay breakdown.
20,000 likes. Boy, you must be balling. 20K? You asking for 20K, brother? I would be lucky to get 5 likes. You asking for 20K? Hey, my boy balling. I'm gonna go ahead and give him one. Gee, hope somebody like my video. Dang, 5? You asking for 20K? I just want 5 likes on the video. That's good.
All right, first things first, all the play now clips in this video are on Hall of Fame difficulty. Okay. We're going to start off with some dribbling in the Learn 2K core. I don't know what the difficulty was on in there because whites were going in, but the play now clips are all on Hall of Fame. All right, let's start this off with dribbling. A lot of questions to be answered here, a lot of clips here for you to enjoy.
So like look. All right, KD dribbling like this. Can my career player dribble like this? So we can always build the player like this, but will he dribble like this? Because I feel like every time they say, you build the player, then it'd be like, the KD arc or the LeBron arc, but they never dribble like that. Come on.
Let's talk.
You're going to be able to
dribble
like this.
Remember, these are
at
NBA
6'10".
players. They do not have optimized SIGs. You cannot change their SIGs. They have whatever they have. Durant has Durant SIGs. De'Aaron Fox has De'Aaron Fox SIGs, etc. But the gameplay you're going to see tomorrow, I can't really speak on it, but it's with the My Players, and in the test builder, you could change your SIGs, and it is a night and day difference from how the NBA players move to how you can move when you're able to change your SIGs. But this will give you at least a general idea of how it looks and, how people are bursting. And obviously, I know a lot of people from my channel are going to be like, bro, like,
that is how Shea moves
bursting again. And yes, you can speed boost on big builds. It's a night and day difference between 2K25 and 2K26. And people might say, oh, what about the small guards? And yes, the small guards can fly. They can really change.
Bro, look at how this man dribbling, dog. What is this?
Some glitchy stuff.
Excuse me.
You can spam escapes. There's some really, really good launchy behind the backs now, and you can start to combo those with like explosive behind the backs and momentum behind the backs. And you see, I mean, that's 6'11" Kevin Durant. Changing directions on a dime. You guys are starting to see some of the momentum crossovers. Now, I do want to mention, there's only so many hours in the day at Community Day that you can't really like fully focus on everything. And my boy Young Dirk was really focused on dribbling, so he sent me all these clips in the Learn 2K. So I'm gonna leave the link to his dribble tutorial down below if you want to see more about dribbling after you finish this video. But shout out to Young Dirk for hooking me up with the clips.
Bro, I'm just thinking about like people playing my part. Or wreck, whatever y'all call it. And somebody just spamming that, bro. Look, just think, bro, where's Steph Curry at, dog? Bro, just think, bro. somebody coming in the park and they going crazy, dog. Then
Some
doing this.
glitchy stuff. You see, you can
Doing
spam behind
this.
the backs. You can spam escapes. There's some really, really good launchy behind the backs now, and you can start to combo those with like explosive behind the backs and momentum behind the backs. And you see, I mean, that's 6'11" Kevin Durant changing directions on a dime. You guys are starting to see some of the momentum crossovers. Now, I do want to mention there's only so many hours in the day at Community Day that you can't really like fully focus on everything. And my boy Young Dirk was really focused on dribbling, so he sent me all these clips in the Learn 2K. So I'm gonna leave the link to his dribble tutorial down below if you want to see more about dribbling after you finish this video. But shout out to Young Dirk for hooking me up with the clips. I did get some dribble clips, but like I wasn't going to spend a few hours on it when I knew other people were doing it. I wanted to focus on other areas of the game so we could get as much information as possible. But what's really nice to see is
this Jimmy Butler doing this?
Players have different dribble styles. You know, like Curry has his, Fox has
his.
Bro,
Jimmy Butler's doing this.
Jimmy Butler has his, etc. And they can all speed boost. And that's just a breath of fresh air, because I feel like in past 2Ks, it was like only 1 or 2 dribble styles could really burst cleanly. So it was like you were forced to use them. Now, there's probably going to end up being like a couple that are better than all the other ones, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like before, it was like no matter what, if you weren't using Darius Garland last year, you had a hitch run out or just you had a no burst run out of dribble moves. It looks like there's a multiple dribble styles.
Okay, you
now
can see
that
the you can see the speed
again, this
too.
Isn't even with
you can see the speed. Ja's not as fast like a De'Aaron Fox, like a Steph Curry.
NBA players have
on. Okay.
So just wait till tomorrow when y'all
Shai
Gilgeous-Alexander
and Ja
I'm
about the same
definitely interested in
speed.
your thoughts on the dribbling from what you've seen here. So get your comments in down below and let's start the discussion. That is the Scottie Pippen behind the back that Mike was talking about. You know, they added some more explosive kind of behind the back dribble moves into the game. And that Scottie definitely launches you forward. There's also, I think the Kobe White one felt pretty good. I was experimenting with it. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably want my opinion on dribbling, so here it is. I spent a fraction of the time dribbling as other creators, like Dirk and Koza and other creators. They spent majority of the day dribbling. I spent probably 20-30 minutes, tried it out, and then went to go get other information. But here's what I felt. It felt much more explosive than last year, more dynamic, and like you had more burst, you had more pop with the ball in your hands. It felt like you could chain things together much more quickly. And most importantly for me personally, it just felt more fun. Now, I understand the bar from 2K25 was set extremely low. So to say it was better or more fun than that is like, well, you know, you're not really saying much, which I get. But it's just how I felt. Like, dribbling there, I was like, damn, like, this feels a lot more enjoyable than what I was doing the last 12 months on 2K25. So we'll see how the game feels at the official launch date. Because remember last year, people at Community Day found certain ways to speed boost dribbling-wise, and then it was removed by the time the actual game came out. So hopefully that's not the case this year. Hopefully all this stuff people are finding and ways to burst and be dynamic and be explosive off the dribble. Hopefully all that stuff is there at launch, and then we could really dive into it as a community and find some crazy stuff. But that's enough about dribbling. Let's move on to some other gameplay.
What y'all think about the dribbling? Dribbling, ain't gonna lie, the dribbling looks realistic. The dribbling, everyone cannot speed boost. Certain people can. You see the Scottie Pippen behind the back, he does get a boost. Kevin Durant looks realistic. The fact that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Ja Morant, they realistically are dribbling because that's how they dribble, and they're not as twitchy as you can see. They're very. It's the way they're dribbling is more strategic, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna get you just like Kevin Durant, and then when you get Steph Curry, it's quick. Jimmy Butler's a little bit too fast. Jimmy Butler doesn't really be crossing people up. By the way, Jimmy can, but he don't really be doing it like that. He's more, he uses his power on his jab step. He uses his post control and stuff like that, and he's pump fake. So he really don't be using the dribble moves like that, but. It's nice. It's fluid. Okay, I can understand it. And I like the different speed aspect of it. All right, come on.
Play aspects. All right, let's talk about shooting and shot contests. Got a bunch of clips here. Some are going to be open, some contested, some green, some miss. I want y'all to just take a look at it, and I'm gonna just let it play, and you guys can kind of start to assess. How
wide open. He was wide open right there. That's the only thing I don't like when I'm doing 10. It'd be a 10-second backup.
How the contest system looks.
He was wide open right there.
Some are going to be open, some contested, some green, some miss. Want y'all to just take a look at it, and I'm going to just let it.
The defender's not right there? He's wide open? You're trying to tell me the defender is not right there. He's wide open.
play and
I ain't gonna say he wide open. That's a good amount of feet right there. But they say he wide open. There's somebody in front of him. And again, it is Kevin Durant. Realistically, Kevin Durant jumping like that, somebody in front of him. We've seen that against LeBron in the finals. Realistically, he's open. I don't think he's wide open, though.
you guys can kind of start to assess, you know, how
It
the
says
shooting
wide
looks, how
open.
the contest system looks, and get your thoughts down below.
No, that's wide
I'll say-
open. That one's wide open. The first one was not wide open. That one was wide
I want y'all to
open.
just take a look at it, and I'm gonna just let it play, and you guys can kind of start to assess.
'Cause he's
you know,
still
how the
there.
shooting looks, how the contest system looks, and get your thoughts down.
Now that one, you probably like, bro, that's the same distance, Cam. But he's not even in the circle. He on the side. He just hit on the crossover too. Like that. Now that's wide open.
Down below in the comments. I will say a few things. I know people are going to ask about RNG and the pure green window and how did it feel and blah, blah,
That's-
blah. Obviously, it's just a
that's
few,
wide open.
you know,
All right,
hours
that's
that I
wide
was
open.
playing the game, so I also had to get,
All right.
you know, my builder stuff done and all that. But the green window
Okay,
definitely felt
okay.
more precise. Like when you got it right, it was green. But when you got it wrong, it
Okay,
was earlier, it
there you
was
go.
late. Like you were, like it was, like if you were slightly off, it was doinking. So
Open,
when I talked to
okay.
Mike in that interview I did with him,
Wait. So that's open?
got it right, it was green. But when you got it wrong, it was earlier, it was late. Like you were, like it was, like if you were slightly
He's a little bit closer. He a little bit closer. All right.
off, it was doinking. So when I talked to Mike in that interview I did with him, he explained it, if he could compare it to anything, was like a more skill-based 2K24 shooting system. And I could kind of see where he's coming from, just because of, you know, yes, you have the pure green window, but it is, you got to be more precise than you were on 24. And
Damn.
I did feel that. Now, obviously, it's just a few hours. We'll see how it plays out when the game actually drops. But another thing that was noticeable was player height really matters still on the shooting. You know,
Okay, that's
taller
what I
builds
was saying.
definitely shoot
All
over
right,
people
all right,
and
all
get
right,
contested
all right.
less than the shorter builds. And Kevin Durant was an absolute god because of that. I mean, KD was insane on this. All right, we're going to switch gears over to mid-range a little bit here.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, the mid-range felt really, really good. Tested it with KD, Shea. I think there's maybe like
He
a
could've-
Curry
he
clip,
could've
a
played
Booker
some other
clip.
people
Like,
than just
definitely shot a
KD.
few middies here and there, but was definitely using it a lot with Kevin Durant, just trying to just see how the contest system was registering. I had somebody using Shea on the other team, and then I was using KD, and we basically tested mid-ranges for like good 10, 15 minutes straight. They feel really, really good. I know they were good on 25. They feel really good
That's
on
a pure
26.
Shea-
and again,
Shea
the
shot right
thing-
there.
I know I'm harping on it a lot, but like you start to see how people are, you know, you saw in the dribbling in the beginning of this video, right? Like people are able to move now on the bigger players, and that wasn't even my players. Like I said, that was NBA players, and you were still bursting and doing all that. Then you combine it with the fact that you're really like shooting over people in terms of that advantage. Like you might actually see a back and forth this year of small guards and big guards both being viable again. I think overall for the game, that would be beautiful. A little bit more build diversity, a little bit more play style diversity. And what I will say about shot contests is they definitely felt stronger than 2K25.
Luka!
2K25 to me felt like you were kind of praying for a contest. Like 90% of stuff just registered open. It didn't feel like that on this game. It definitely felt stronger,
Oh,
but
so
not
you shouldn't have
stronger
made
to
that
the
one.
point where ghost contests were happening like in past 2Ks. If a dude had his hand down, especially against a guy like Durant who's so tall, but even other players that we tested like Shea and stuff, it would say open if their hand was down. So if they reached and you shot it, it said open. If they jump, but they were, you know, super late getting out to you, it would still say open. If you created enough space, like on that fade over Chet right there, it says open. But then if they, you know, if they're under you and they get a hand near your face or near where the ball was, or they jump in time to get there before you release the ball, they'd register some type of contest. Now let's talk about rhythm shooting, the new rhythm shooting system, right? Apparently you only have to green the tempo. And that is confirmed because you're about to see a couple clips of it. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'm going to be honest. You know, apparently if you don't green the timing, it makes it harder to green the tempo. But as long as you just green the tempo, it still goes in. And I'll be honest, without the meter, it's kind of like, man, he's making whites is kind of what I feel like, you know, even though I understand the system is different. But when you turn the meter on and see it visually,
So that's what he mean by tempo? So they ain't gonna miss that. So you trying to tell me they ain't finna miss wide open threes like in the corner?
And I'll be honest, without the meter, it's kind of like, man, he's making whites is kind of what I feel like, you know, even though I understand the system is different. But
So you trying to tell me they gonna make the computer when they're wide open and they don't make their green? You trying to tell me they gonna hit these? Or if I'm playing my part, or I'm playing my career in general, or I'm playing my team, when they kick it to me in this corner and I don't hit green, you trying to tell me this gonna come in? This gonna go in because I'm wide open? Because realistically, if I'm wide open, because even if I don't green the shot, I'm supposed to make these. This is actually what's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to green these shots when they go in. You trying to tell me this finna start happening?
when you turn the meter on and see it,
So he got an excellent release. Tempo was excellent. Timing was early. Coverage was wide open.
visually, I mean, I'll be honest. It hurts my soul. I'm like, bro, this dude is making a 3/4 bar shot, but I understand the logic is different now, but I think we're all like ingrained in the 2K25 rhythm shooting system. Let me know your comments down below. Let's talk quick about perimeter defense bumps. You see right here, Lu Dort cuts off Kevin Durant coming up the court, and they get a physical body up, cut off, like bump animation. If someone's moving, if a dribbler is moving, and you cut them off, you will get a bump, physical body up bump. But a big difference I noticed was on 2K25, if someone was standstill dribbling at the top of the key, you could just like press against them and interrupt that dribble sequence. Now, I'm not going to say it's impossible to interrupt someone's standstill dribble sequence, because obviously I just tested it in the limited amount of time that I had, but it definitely felt night and day difference to 25. 25 felt like if someone's dribbling, you know, on the perimeter standstill, you could just basically run up to them, smash into them, and interrupt their whole dribble combo, and it would put their player in like a bump animation. Didn't feel like that on this game until they started moving. Once they started to try to burst past you left or right, or try to drive to the basket or whatever, then if you were running with them, then there would be some type of body up collision. But we'll have to see, you know, how that plays out throughout the year. But it definitely was a noticeable.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I can see some like what Kyrie just did to Luka. I can see some ridiculous stuff going on when somebody just you playing bump defense, trying to play as best defense as you can. Somebody's gonna fade away and hit a green on you.
Difference, in my opinion. Last quick thing for perimeter defense bumps. Off the little push cross here into the defender's leg, lose the ball. I know a lot of people are like anti-push cross, anti-De'Aaron Fox crossover. Well, position yourself correctly, you could be knocking that ball free without even having to reach. All right, let's talk about layups. We know custom layups and slow-mo Euros and all this new layup stuff they're adding, so let's talk about it. Layups definitely felt much improved from 2K25, but that's not saying much. Layups were pretty awful in 2K25. Size matters. You saw that one right there with Giannis. You're going to see some with Trey, Luka. Size matters in terms of getting contested. It felt like the bigger players definitely could go up with more 50-50 takes, and the green window would stay a bit bigger than the smaller players. But overall, whether it was Trey, Luka, De'Aaron Fox, Giannis, whoever it was, being able to see the green window, I know it was an old feature. Like we had it in 2K24, then they got rid of it. They brought it back. I'm not hyping it up like, whoa, like this is, but it's just nice to be able to see it. Not only to help you know when to release the timing of the layup, but also so you know what's a good take and a bad take, and help you understand what you can and can't go up with. Now let's talk about driving dunks. Dunk meter. You know, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about this, so let's talk about it. First thing.
You don't gotta do the whole dunk meter, right? This is just if you use the stick, right?
I'll say size matters again. It felt like the bigger players got more consistent green windows. Some concerning things was I still feel like there's some kinks that need to be worked out in terms of the dunk meter. I have a couple of specific clips coming up here in just a second, and I did bring it to their attention, and I'm sure other people did as well at Community Day. And as we know, we saw last year, they definitely make changes after Community Day. You know, last year they nerfed builds and took out certain dribble speed boost animations and stuff. But check out a couple of these animations. You're gonna see me beat the defender, and or whoever I'm playing against gets past me, and we're just, you know, driving to the basket. Like right here, Ant Edwards slides through, has a clear path to the hoop by the time he goes up with the dunk, and the dunk window stays small. So that's a little alarming to me. I feel like there's, like I said, there's still some kinks to definitely work out. Like this one right here, it's a clean drive, blew by the defender,
Mm-hmm.
clean line at the hoop, but because like
Please let me know if this is like, is this like this is optional, right? This has always been optional. Please let me know if this is not like, are you trying to tell me the dunk meter is here at all times when you're trying to dunk, or is this just using the right stick? Because if this is just all the way, bro, this should not happen. This should be optional. I like to dunk with the square or X button, depending on whichever controller you're using. That's how I dunk. I shouldn't have to use the shot stick, and then we got a meter, bro. We can't have a meter for everything.
like when I started the dunk, maybe the defender was still like pushed against me. I'm not really sure. Like I said, there's definitely
Giannis
some stuff
ain't missed
to
no
still
dunk.
fix. But even with that being
Ant
said,
been
we're
missing,
still
but
getting
Giannis
some
ain't.
nice contact dunks at times. You know, sometimes the green windows were big, sometimes they were small, so definitely figuring out exactly how the logic works. But something I definitely like is when they take you out of the dunk meter, you turn it in.
Did he just miss the layup? Did he just miss a layup?
You know, sometimes the green windows were big, sometimes they were small, so definitely figuring out exactly how the logic works. But something I definitely like is when they take you out of the dunk meter, you turn it into a layup, and it's usually a pretty greenable layup. So I feel like that is a nice change. Instead of it just being like, I went up for a dunk meter, they took me out of the dunk meter, and now the play is cooked. It's like, nah, in real life, it's like, oh, I wanted to dunk it, but now I got hit, so I'm going to, you know, adjust my body and be able to turn it into a layup type of thing. So we'll have to see how the dunk meter plays out. I'm not really sure if it's good or bad yet. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure. I need to see more, and I need to see what kind of changes are tweaked by the game launches.
Man,
Let's move on to
missing
interior
dunks.
defense and standing dunks. There's definitely some
Wimby!
crazy interior defense animations. Like, look at this one by Rudy. My God. I mean, to be fair, it's Rudy and Wemby. They have great interior defense stats. But
Wimby!
you could definitely get some crazy stops. Now, wide open standing meter dunks, you see how big the green window is. And then even like standing meter dunks against smaller defenders, like Wemby just, you know, going up over smaller defenders. See the size of the green window. It kind of feels like it's like you could get crazy stops.
Okay,
but you could also get crazy
okay, I
dunks.
see it. That's
It's
just for me. That's just the shot stick.
I'm not really sure. Like,
You
we'll
don't
have to
have to
see
use
how it plays out, but they both definitely felt viable. Like, if you timed when you were going to jump to get the stop, it's like you'd get a crazy ante. But you could also, if you went up with the standing dunk and they weren't entirely properly positioned, you would just boom it on them. Also, a little detail I noticed right here was as Joel was backing down Wemby, look at when Wemby jumped, his hand was behind, like Joel pinned him so deep in the dead zone that when he jumped, his hand hit the back of the backboard and it registered open. I feel like in past games, sometimes if you did that, it would still register a contest just because it was like, it thought you were supposed to be there, but you weren't actually there because you got stuck
that's
in the hoop.
interesting.
I don't know, just something like a small little detail I noticed. But you see the size of these standing dunk meters, you could definitely go crazy with the standing dunks, but then you also saw some of the paint stop animations I was getting is like you could definitely go crazy with the interior stops as well. Like here's one from Wemby. I mean, I'm not really sure which one's going to be better, but they both definitely felt viable. At least
Look at Wemby gonna be nasty.
Last thing, rebounding. You can turn off the green feedback in the player HUD. I did notice that. I know some people have been asking that, but as you can see here, you don't have to green the rebound to get it. You know, Mike has already talked about that.
Because it makes no sense.
Clear about
I
that.
don't even know why he
here,
made that.
I'm on Jokic. I green the rebound, and my teammate grabs it instead of me.
What's the
so
point?
just because you green it doesn't mean you're automatically.
What's the
gonna get it.
point?
But this is what the green feedback looks like. Figure we'll just touch on that real quick. But if you guys want to see raw, unedited footage of the first part game in
Bro, what's the point? What's the point of the green rebounding if it doesn't matter? I can green rebound and my teammate can pick it up. What was the point of that? All in all, looks good. It's 2K. You know how it is, man. We do this every year. It's 2K. The dribbling looks fantastic. The shooting, I feel like that's gonna be an issue when it comes to just playing online. I feel like people are gonna be abusing this shooting, bro, because it takes one crossover and like remember the KD it said it's wide open, bro. And again, I think a lot of people are not gonna do. They're not going to be. I think a lot of people are not going to be making small builds. They're going to be making the high. I wouldn't imagine anybody 6'6". The starting height is probably 6'6", bro. There's no one going to be under 6'6" because, as you can see, height matters. There's gonna be a lot of people looking like the Oklahoma City Thunder lineup out here. No, 6'6" and higher, bro. There's not gonna be no Steph Curry. Now, if you want to be Steph Curry, you probably can, but he's 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". That's probably the lowest somebody gonna be. This gonna be interesting. It's gonna be some more stuff coming out, but the rebounding, it looks like that shouldn't happen. The defense looks interesting. The blocking. The only thing I'm really concerned about is dunking. Like, obviously you don't have to use the shot stick to dunk, but like that's why you don't get the best animations. But Ant Edwards was missing. Joe Wemby was missing a lot of dunks. We'll see what happens. But until next time, man. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, y'all want to talk, put it in the comments section. Shout out to Joe Knows and shout out to everybody else that was at 2K Day, Community Day. And we'll check out some more videos when we get here and we're still gonna make a decision if we're gonna buy the game or not. So, this is the time when you start making decisions, watching these videos and seeing if you actually really want to do it or not. Well, until next time, man, see y'all next video.